James plays games.
That's me!
Hey everybody, welcome back to James Plays Tony Hawk's Underground 2. We have completely obliterated story mode. We've done everything that we can do in it. So now it's time to check out classic mode. The name suggests this is a throwback to the classic games in the series, Tony Hawk's 1, 2, and 3. Got a list of objectives, you got a 2-minute timer, you skate around and you see what you can accomplish within that time limit. We have a choice of difficulties. Naturally, we are going with sick. And we get to choose our skater. Instead of going with shred, I thought we might mix it up a little bit. But you can see that no matter who you choose, they all start with a 3 out of 10 across all their stats. You will find and collect stat points in each level, which you then apply however you want. That's how you build up your character. Of course, not all stats are created equal, so we'll cross that bridge when we get there, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. But here we go, everybody. We are gonna play as the Call of Duty soldier. Everybody's favorite character from Call of Duty. The way that classic mode is laid out here with the levels is a bit different from story mode. As you see, the order right off the bat is going to be different. We start off in Barcelona here as opposed to training or Boston. And every now and then we will have a branching path of sorts where we get to choose between two levels if we did not want to do everything. We are going to be doing everything, so that doesn't matter for us. But it's a nice thing. You get a whole bunch of levels here. You only have to do 9, but then there are the 4 other ones. So you have a pretty robust classic mode, which is nice. Now, the way that I am intending to do this, the guidelines that I'm using for how we're going to play this out is as follows. Each level has 10 goals to complete. And then there are also stat points to get, which I would consider almost like an 11th goal. So my thought process was, instead of trying to do everything in one run, which may be possible, it should be possible for the 10 goals. Once you add in the stat points, that's where it gets a little bit iffy. But instead of going for that, that doesn't give me a lot of time to really convey information to you guys, able to just kind of take a moment and point things out, explain what I'm doing. I thought, okay, let's do 2 runs. That should give me a little bit more leniency. And we will divide the goals kind of in half. Now you might say, okay, 11 goals in half, was that 5 and 6? No, you silly. It's going to be 7 and 4. Or something like that. See, out of those 10 goals, 4 of them are score related. You have high score, pro score, and 6 score, which is reaching certain point thresholds within the time limit. And then you have combo score, which is getting a certain score in a single combo. Those will more often than not all be done at once. So you could almost consider them to be one goal just in itself. So instead of looking at 11 goals, you're now looking at 8. So we could divide it up as 4 and 4, if you will. That's the guideline, which I am immediately going to be throwing out the window, because the route that I am taking here, after we get our quote-unquote 4th goal, we will be right next to another goal, so we might as well just grab it while we're there. And that will actually make things a little bit easier for us to deal with our second run. Here we are, list of goals. And here we go. right off the bat, you can see we're being pointed towards combo. Collect all the letters in combo to spell combo while in a combo. And we can do that while also getting all our points. Huh. He must have picked this move up at a USO show or something. Alright. Moving on. Show off some more special moves here. And you can see this A's floating in the air. You get off your board and just jump, you can reach it. Got all of our points along the way there. Perfect. Get up here and just grind from one end of the bench to the other. That takes care of that. Now we're gonna go back the way we came to pick up that K and S. There we go. Over here, there is the T floating in the air, just like the A, and just like the A, if you get off your board and jump, you should get enough height to get that. Now we will get kicked up off of this thing here, and grind this beam to get the E, and now we've collected Skate. And we would be done, except you can see, there's the secret tape right there. That's what I was talking about, where it just makes sense to get this because it's literally right next to you. And we're done. Now our run is definitely done. A fun fact about this bridge. This is the one that we had to turn in story mode by helping Pegleg free their boat. If you did not do that, this bridge will not be turned in classic mode. You will have to free Pegleg here in classic mode in order to make that happen. Which I find to be a little inconvenient, but as you saw there, there's a stat point over on that net right there that you would be grinding to free Pegleg anyway. So it could be worse, but it's still a weird thing how one mode affects the other like that. And I can't think of any other instances offhand that are like that. So not only is it weird as just like an odd one out, it's also really weird to start classic mode off that way. You know what I mean? Anyway, we only have 2 goals left to do, and the stat points. Let's go ahead and do our second run. So, we're going to get off our board, and you may have seen there's a stat point floating right there. This is a weird way for me to do this, but bear with me. We're going in, and we're going to get launched, and we're going to be back on our board when we do it. We're going to get off our board and course correct in the air to land back on the building. Avoid the end of that catapult. It will keep trying to launch you if you touch it. There we go. You just jump off the building and grab that. Now, just like we were talking about, there is a stat point on the net there. Just go ahead and grind. In this case, I'm going to jump off and bail on purpose to get back onto the dry land over here. Heading back over this way, we have a stat point right here at the top of this building, off the balcony. We're just going to make an effort to grab, jump, grab, and get that. Come on over here, and you can see that one hanging out over by the cable car. It's actually lined up with the power lines, so you would grind the power lines to get it, but I find a better way is to just go to the top of the cable car tower here and just drop off the edge as close as possible, and you will grab it that way. Come on over here, and we're going to manual down the subway and take the right exit to Port Vale, and we get the subway manual goal. And now we're collecting tapas. They're all located in this section. And there is our last stat point. I'm afraid I did not afford myself too much time here, but as you can see, last tapas is just out there on that line like that. So all of those are located just in this little area, nice and simple. And we've done it, everybody. Should I go for it? Little victory 900. Oh, I don't have the stats yet, but we will. We will. There we go. That is all done. We have 5 stat points to apply to ourselves. And let's talk about the stats. 10 different attributes to go for, but like I said, not all of them created equal. The things that are going to be most important for us in our classic mode run here is going to be run, because that allows us to stay off our board longer in a combo. The timer lasts longer. Very helpful. Rail and manual balance. We do a lot of grinding and manualing. The higher those are, the better our balance will stay. Speed. The faster we are, the faster we accomplish our goals. And switch. When we're in switch stance, our stats are all lowered, essentially. Like, we do worse in switch than we do in regular. Think trying to write with one hand versus the other. So the higher this is, the less of a penalty we would be getting for being in switch. At this point, I think speed is going to be the most important. And you see, we only need 2 more points to max that out, and then we will move on to one of the other stats. I'd say rail and manual are pretty important because they are very low at the moment, and that does make things difficult, but that can be offset by the use of focus mode. Switch is mostly just about laziness, not having to worry about if you're in switch or not. And then run helps you bridge that gap between combos by getting off your board and running around. I think after speed, we will be looking, though, at rail or manual, just because we're all about the convenience. We're all about being lazy. Instead of going into focus mode all the time, just do that, right? But we'll see. We'll see how the next level plays out. Now, our first choice. We can choose between Australia or Skatopia. Like I said, we are going to be doing both, but for this episode here, we are going to Australia first. We're still nice and early in the classic mode here, so no big surprises. We are actually going to follow the guidelines this time of trying to split the goals in half. It might not look like it, but we are once again pointed directly at combo. We just need to grind this rail, and we are on the line. So we will get that while we get our score. And we got the first of 5 flower pots also on the combo line. So now we've got that. We just need to successfully land this once we have our points. Just want to go a little bit further. And there we go. How about a victory wiggle, huh? More like Call of Booty, am I right? Okay. Back up these steps towards where we started, and we just have a ramp-to-ramp over this entrance footbridge. Our first of the 5 G'day ramp-to-ramps. Over here is our second, over this door. Follow the street back, and we have flower pot number 2 right there on that ledge. Over here with the balconies, we actually have 2 ramp-to-ramps right next to each other. This doorway, and then whatever this is. The division between buildings, I guess. Come over here, and against this wall, there's another flower pot just hanging out up there. Turn around. Oop, a little too far. But our next and final ramp-to-ramp is over these stairs. Here's a flower pot, and I find the best way to get this is to get off your board and stand on the top step, jump, and land in a grind. Because the game kind of likes to latch you onto the lower of the two steps, which will not get you the flower pot. And finally, flower pot number 5. So there we go. We'll end that run. Beautiful. Time for run number 2. Okay, we're turning around and we are heading for the balcony, building up our special as we go. Jump over Kenny the Koala for our first stat point. And now we are doing the balcony climb, which is why we need special. Our stats suck, special helps them suck a little bit less. Managed to get the A, and then we are doing jumping, wall planting, making our climb, but you see we don't quite have the best of stats, so we tend to miss jumps a few times there before we finally get it. Come over here, get up to the edge here, and we need to grind these 5 street lamps. They're all on the same wire, and you break the first one just by grabbing onto the wire like that. You just follow it along, and you hit the other 4. Keep going, and you even get a stat point at the end. Jump off, and there's another stat point right here off of this balcony. We just gotta get into the air and grind that rail. Now we're heading down to the beach, and we're climbing up a power line. There we go. I want to jump towards where that E is. There we go. Sometimes it doesn't quite cooperate, trying to decide your direction like that. Let's slow things down, make sure we hit that kink properly, and we can maintain our balance as we go around the lifeguard tower for another stat point. Shaboom. And we just have 3 letters left. We're going to go ahead and get the T. Just some spine transferring around this building. And we're going to get launched to the other building. Acid drop, and we got the S. Now, the hard part. We need to skitch and get some speed. And I'm even going to slow things down here. We got the K, and with our skitch, we managed to get enough speed that we could launch up high enough to get our final stat point. And let's just keep going for one moment, because I think we've earned it, and I think we can do it. A victory 900. Yeah, just barely. Okay. Beautiful. That went pretty darn good. And we unlocked more levels, but we're not quite done with the ones we've got, are we? We are topping off speed, and I think now I might go for switch. Then after that, possibly rail or manual. Well, as you saw here, I used focus mode quite a bit to offset the fact that my balance sucks, and it worked. So I'm not overly concerned about that. So we'll see. A lot of this is just kind of playing it by ear, seeing what I feel like that day. And today, I feel like switch. So that does it for this time. Next time, we will be tackling another pair of levels. So I will see you then. Love ya. Mwah. Bye-bye.